We've got breaking news out of Phoenix. The Suns have officially fired head coach Mike Budenholzer after just one season. That's three coaches in 3 seasons. This is a team with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, the highest payroll in the NBA, and they didn't even make the playoffs. So today we're going to be breaking down exactly what happened, why this happened, what it means for KD and Book, and who might be the next coach in line. So let's just be real. We can figure out what went wrong here. Expectations were way too high for the Suns this season. I mean, truly sky high. They brought in Budenholzer to replace Frank Vogel and hoping that his championship experience from the Milwaukee Bucks would help glue this team together. And that unfortunately did not occur. The Phoenix Suns finished 36-46, no playoffs, eliminated by the Thunder. And this is just the second team in league history to miss the postseason with 3 All-Stars on their roster. My goodness, the trio of KD, Booker, and Beal have made over $150 million combined this year and only played 37 games together, going 19 of 18, nearly 500. Injuries hurt them, sure. Beal missed 29 games. Booker dealt with a lingering ankle injury. But even when healthy, the chemistry never really clicked. It seemed like Booker should be the one on the ball. It just didn't seem to work in their favor. Budenholzer's system structure and the ball movement. I mean, these Suns, they were essentially thriving off of isolation, individual creation. The fit just was not there. There was also seemingly a locker room disconnect. Now, as you know, the fans might not want to hear that there's a locker room disconnect after something like this happens because you have the highest payroll. Bud says, essentially the locker room was not meshing. And once you talk about the players, that can obviously, have some bad results, as we've seen on the Nuggets fan base who just had their coach fired as well. And after a season loss to Minnesota, Bud was asked if ownership gave him any reassurances, and his response was, "It's raw. We just lost a game and it's been a tough season. There's been no conversations." And I feel like that's not something that you would say when your job is essentially safe. And according to sources like Burn City Sports, several players alongside Durant and Booker grew frustrated with how Bud had handled late game adjustments and rotations. And we even saw like a back and forth with Durant and his coach. So I think this was definitely writing on the wall that he'd be gone. I mean, he stuck to his playbook. The team needed flexibility, and it just cost them down the stretches. Like, they did not make too many adjustments, and that was just the style that they went for. In the official press release, the Suns said, "Competing at a highest level remains our goal, and we failed to meet expectations this season. Our fans deserve better. Change is needed." So obviously we saw the coach. I mean, we've seen coaches taking falls for, big threes all over the place for the past decade, essentially. So this is nothing new, but 3 coaches in 3 seasons, that's, ridiculous. That tells you everything that you kind of need to know. Matt Ishbia, the owner, is not here for rebuilds. He's mentioned this multiple times, and he's not here for excuses either. He's the man that went for the KD trade, went all in for Beal, fired Monty Williams, Vogel in back-to-back years, and now Bud's gone too. Like I said, 3 coaches, 3 seasons, and we can kind of direct our attention over to what's next for KD and Booker. I mean, what does this mean for the Suns superstars? KD turns 37 next season. While he's an elite scorer, he's clearly in win now mode. Devin Booker is entering his prime and hasn't been to the conference finals since that 2021 season. And you've got to wonder how long they'll stick around if this chaos continues. The Beal trade, that's just pretty much a bust. It stripped them of any depth, flexibility that they had. They got no draft picks, limited cap space, no true point guard. This offseason feels like it's do or die for them. If things don't turn around fast, KD might ask out, and Booker, he won't be wanting to be a part of a rebuild either. So we could see 2 superstars possibly moving on in the summertime. And let's move over to who could be the next coach. So we've got to talk about a little bit about the replacements. It feels like the hottest name right now is, of course, Michael Malone, who was just let go by the Nuggets. And he's just it was a shock. He just led them to a 2023 title. I could definitely see him as a name. And obviously there's going to be other names that appear, but whoever they need to do, whoever they need to hire needs to happen fast. This team doesn't have the time to wait around, rebuild a different line of culture. The bottom line is the Suns are out of excuses. They've got 2 elite scorers, a 3rd max contract in Bradley Beal, and 0 playoff wins to show for it in this playoffs. And Budenholzer clearly wasn't the answer. What do you guys think about this decision? Who do you guys think the new coach will be? Should the Suns try to trade Beal? Possibly get Katie and Booker to still win a title together? And who's the best next coach for this job? Make sure you guys hit the comments, drop a like, subscribe if you like content like this, and we'll bring you some more breakdowns of playoff basketball. And of course, all 30 other teams, I'll be covering them as they get eliminated. So make sure you comment and subscribe. Peace.